In this tutorial, we will learn how to morph one shape into another shape using the Shape Tween tool, and we'll also have a look at keyframes. So to start with, we'll create a new ActionScript 3.0 file. We won't bother changing the size of this Flash file. We won't change the width or the height on the stage. We'll just get straight into it. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll create one shape that we want to start with, and then after that we'll create the second shape that we want to end with. We want the first one to morph into. So grabbing the rectangle tool, which I've changed to the oval tool, click on that arrow, you can pick one of these shapes. So I'll start with a rectangle, and the stroke color, I'll just I won't give any color for that, so I'll take that color off. There's no color for the border of the shape, and I'll change the fill color to blue. So I'll draw a blue square or blue rectangle, blue square. Okay, now that is currently on the first frame, so I've got a keyframe on the first frame. And we know it's a keyframe because on that little frame there, underneath number 1, the first frame, there's a solid black circle. And in Flash on the timeline, a solid black circle represents a keyframe. So further down the timeline, maybe around about 60th frame, we'll click on that frame, right click on it, and then click on Insert Keyframe. Now here is where we want to insert the shape, or draw the shape that we want this blue square to change into. So if you have a look on the timeline, we've got another solid black circle here on the 60th frame, so that's a new keyframe. The black rectangle filled with white before it shows us that that is the last frame before the object changes, or before there's a new keyframe. So it's the last frame before a change. And keyframes in an animation are basically where there's going to be a change in your animation, so maybe a change with an object. So where you insert a new keyframe, that's where you're changing your animation, something new is happening. So we'll go back to the rectangle tool, we'll change it to oval tool, we'll change the fill color, we'll make it green, and we'll draw a green circle down the bottom there. Now we want this blue rectangle to morph. It's going to change color, it's going to change shape, and it's probably going to change size a little bit because I think that circle might just be a bit bigger. Okay, now to do that, to morph it, we need to use the Shape Tween tool. And to use the Shape Tween tool, we go onto the timeline, and between those two keyframes, anywhere between those two keyframes, we can right click and we can click on Create Shape Tween. And now we've got to do Shape Tween. Start with a blue square, and we end up with a green circle. But we don't want that blue square to hang around. So all we need to do is grab the selection tool. On the last frame, we can click on that blue square and just delete it. Press the delete key, and now it's gone. If we want to go and change this green circle into another shape, a different color, all we need to do is go further down the timeline, insert a new keyframe, same way as before, and we can draw up something different. Might use the rectangle tool again, and this time we'll go with red color. Back up the top. Okay. Go back down to the timeline. Between those two keyframes, right click, click Create Shape Tween, and now we've got a new morphing effect or Shape Tween effect. We can then go back to the selection tool and delete that green circle from the end. Go all the way back to the start, we click on play. That's what we've got. We've been able to morph a shape using the Shape Tween tool in Adobe Flash. If we want to save our file, all we need to do is click on File and Save, or Save As. But we can also use the Export tool if we want to export it as a movie in a different format. For example, if we want to upload it to YouTube. So that's how you use the Shape Tween tool in Adobe Flash, and we also looked at keyframes as well in Adobe Flash CS6. Thanks for watching.